It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Luzerne County Report. I'm Sam Lesante. Thanks for joining us once again. We're going to give you an update of what's happening in our county. You know, it's $400 million that they get to spend every year. Are they using it wisely? Well, let me just say this. If you checked other counties around and you find out what their tax increases have been, and you look at Luzerne County, we are in pretty damn good shape. Joining me today is Romilda Crocamo, who is the Luzerne County Manager, and also happy to have John Lombardo, who is the chair of the Luzerne County Council, doing a great job, John, as always. Romilda, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
I was telling you last show we did with the prison. I'm walking here at the Laurel Mall, and hey, Sam, that was a pretty interesting show. You know, we learned a lot about the prison, being that's the biggest department, right? In the
it's our biggest department in our general fund. Yes.
And there's so much to you know, that people just, well, they don't have the time. Who gets up in the morning and says, I think I wonder how the Luzerne County Prison is doing.
Right.
I mean, it's one of those kind of things. But in bringing some information to the public, you know, we're looking at John as the chair, and incidentally, you know, to keep up the good work. You know, just keep up the good work, because you guys are doing great. It's a great council. I really wish you the best. But when you're looking at where you standing, you're looking at setting the goals for the county, of which Romilda then has to follow up with. You don't do her job, but you make sure that her job is being done.
Right.
You know, some of the things that you guys have done. Let's show off a little bit here.
Yeah, so actually one of the very first things that we had to tackle was an issue with the prison. We were considering purchasing some land, former corrections facility, the SCI retreat facility in lower Luzerne County, or in southern Luzerne County, sorry. So we went and actually toured the facility, but we ended up determining that it wasn't going to fit our needs. So we actually have been trying to address some of the issues with the prison, being that it is the biggest line item in our general fund budget. And we do try to, you know, consider that as one of our future projects that we want to work on in Luzerne County. But one of the other really good things we've done, as you mentioned, was we've really tried to hold the line on taxes in our county. You know, we're still paying down that $466 million debt that was left to us by the county commissioners back in 2011. So unfortunately, every year we have $26 million in debt service that we have to pay that doesn't get to go to our prison. It doesn't get to go to roads and bridges or our elections department or children and youth or any of the other great things that we do in Luzerne County. So we're going to be turning that corner in 2029 and 2030. But in the meantime, we've been trying really hard not to take on any new debt so we can get that paid off, and then we can go forward and do some really great projects. And we're trying especially hard not to burden the taxpayers, and that's what we've managed to do over the last couple of years.
You know, the interesting thing is we talk about management. And, you know, when we're voting for someone or we're putting people in office, okay, I always say, look, I don't care whether you're a Democrat or Republican. That's, to me, nonsense. The people that you put in office affect our lives. Because if we had inefficiency in a board, if we had inefficiency in a manager, we'd pay the price for that. Because their services still have to be presented. You still have services, and you have to tax those services. So, you know, that's why I applaud the current council that we have. I mean, because you have been able to pay the debt, which you said, that's $24 million that doesn't help anybody, or 20, whatever it is. And now you have to manage that. And then I think, Romilda, that's where I think it's important to have people that know what they're doing. And here again, forget that Democrat Republican. I hate that. I really do, you know. But anyway, your thoughts.
Well, certainly on a local level, on a county level, we were discussing earlier, there's no Republican or Democrat way to build a bridge or fix a road. They have to get done. I've been fortunate to have a very responsive and supportive council, especially with Chair Lombardo, that we are committed to doing those projects. We have committed over $20 million for our road projects. We're patchworking grants and different funding to get the roads done, and we're committed to maintain them. You know, there's no outside source of finance to maintain roads and bridges, and but we're committed to do it. We're going to bundle the bridges and make sure we maintain the bridges. We have over 300 bridges, various sizes. We have 5 that go over waterways. 2, unfortunately, we had to close because they were neglected. Not just 1, not 2 years, but decades of neglect. And we are committed to make sure that those roads and bridges are not only rebuilt, but maintained.
You know, John, when you're looking at $400 million, and Romilda, you said you're starting to prepare now for the budget for October, and you have looked at, which is amazing because you got 37 departments, each of them have something to offer, okay? So when you're looking at that, and you're looking at how do we maintain the tax level and still give the services, that's a challenge.
So the most important thing that we've done in order to kind of facilitate all of that has been to make sure that we're communicating effectively not just between the council and the manager, but the council, the manager, and each department in the county. So when we do that, we don't want our employees to feel afraid to talk to us. We don't want the manager to feel like she's in an adversarial position with council because we don't agree on something. We want to make sure that we're able to have that communication, break down all those barriers that have previously existed between our branches of government as we've kind of gotten used to them in our new home rule system. And I think that over the last couple of years, we've done just truly an amazing job with it. Especially between myself, Romilda as manager, I cannot say enough good things about how great of a job she has done for us, for the county, for the residents. And she does it, not asking for any gratitude because she loves Luzerne County. And, we try our best to do the same thing.
This is what I'm trying to, okay, when you looked at Dave Pedre, did an outstanding job. Mm-hmm. I mean, he did an outstanding job, and he's doing a great job at Luzerne Foundation. So then you had some people that management came in, and I'm all due respect to them, but they didn't have what Romilda brings to the table. So and she's on top of everything, okay, and working with a council and communicating is key. And not only that, but who are the people that you have on council? When you have, like Thornton, what he brings, and I'm sure the other councilmen, I don't know them individually, but I think there was another person that came on the show.
Greg Wilovich. He has a degree in accounting.
Yes, and they bring all this great experience, and I think that's so important. Now, what's your salary every year for the council?
Well, council members make about $8,000 a year. As the chair, I make, I think, $10,500. Yeah. But it's not anything we do for the money.
You couldn't pay me $50,000 a year to do your job.
Right.
Because you have to be dedicated to what you're doing. Okay. When you're working with the departments, every department. If I was the head of a department, to me that would be the most important department. So every department head that comes in, Romilda, is the most important in their mind. How do you then be able to have them look at their budget, still give the service, and make everybody happy?
I can't make everybody happy.
Find that capsule, and if you find that capsule, you'll become a multi-billionaire.
Right. I can't make everybody happy, but we really start working on the budget July and August. It has to be presented in October, and I send guidance out to the department and the division heads of what I'm looking for, and then they meet on a regular basis with the head of budget and finance. And I have assembled a team of individuals, a committee of different staff members from different finance areas, human services. I have the deputy controller. So I assemble this committee and they review the budget. I sent out about 2 weeks ago an email to all the department and the division heads requesting that if they have a particular special project that they want to attack in 2026, that I want it now. because we have to prepare for it. The last 2 years, we focused on making government more efficient. I think we've made a lot of strides. We're going to continue to do that. I tell the department heads, please don't come in and say this is how we've always done it, because that's not the answer. That's not the right answer. We have to, the world has changed. Staffing challenges have changed, and we really have to look at the situation and be critical thinkers about how we can make it better. And I've been really blessed with county council members who are willing to work with me. I can call John at any time, and he's very responsive. He is a firefighter, so he understands the importance of our emergency personnel. Our 911, that's a 24/7
yes.
operation.
Yes.
Think of a world where you can't call 911.
Yes.
So we have to make sure that it's staffed, that there's training. I turn to John all the time. Greg Willowich is an accountant. I talk to him about budget issues, and the same thing with Brian Thornton. He's an engineer and he worked in finance. So these are people who have experience. I don't have all the answers. I turn to people who do, and I'm very proud of my department and division heads, and I want them to talk to council. I want the council members to know that these are the experts in the field, and they have ideas and they want to move the county forward. So I believe that we really are Luzerne County. We're pivoting into a very positive direction, and I just hope that it's maintained.
And you know, what you said is sometimes as each person runs their own department, sometimes what they budget for, they may find out that there was more need for money here other than this, and so they alternate and they reshuffle the money. John, we were talking about the American Rescue, okay? What's that?
So the American Rescue Plan was the legislation passed by the Congress in 2020-ish, 2021, to help recover from the COVID-19 pandemic. So there were a lot of funds that were given out to counties, states, local municipalities in order to kind of jumpstart the economy and get a lot of infrastructure projects off the ground. What we did in Luzerne County was a little bit unique from what some other municipal entities did. We took about half of the funds and we used them for internal projects, things that would have been, basically passed off onto the backs of the taxpayers had we not done it. So we did road projects, we did a couple of bridge projects, we did some maintenance projects on our buildings, all kinds of other things. And we took the other half of the money and we sent it outward to the public. We sent it out to municipal entities who maybe did not receive American Rescue Plan funding. We gave over $7 million to first responder agencies, police, fire, and EMS agencies all throughout the county so they could purchase equipment, vehicles, and things like that. We also gave a number of dollars to small businesses. We helped over 900 small businesses with an initiative that we created. We did utility assistance for the residents of the county. And there were a number of other amazing projects that we did. We gave tens of thousands of meals out to food insecure children and families throughout the county through nonprofit agencies. So we did a real lot with that money. We really touched a lot of people throughout the county, and I think we really got the most bang for our buck.
How did you know who to give money to?
So we had an application process. It was a very, very strenuous application, reviewing them, ending up voting on them. We had to make sure that there were no conflicts of interest between council members or anybody within the county government and all the entities that were receiving the funds. So we had to sign all kinds of agreements and do things really above board and just very publicly so that the public could be at ease that we were spending the money in the right way. And I'll be honest with you, I'm so proud of the work that we did on that.
Two questions. Question number one is, how does council get along with our local legislators? And number two, when you're having your public meetings, what are some of the most important, or what are some of the people's concerns, okay? So you want to take, well,
I'll answer the first. I'll answer the second question first, if you'd like.
Go ahead.
So one of the things that we hear a lot about in our public meetings are when we see some negative headlines. So, for example, when we have issues with our elections, and just to be clear, Luzerne County is not the only county in the state that has issues with our elections. We have an antiquated system on the state level that prevents us from doing things in a very successful manner. So we hear a lot of those concerns from the public. We hear a lot about roads, bridges, taxes, those types of things. And we take notes, we listen to what they have to say, we try to be as responsive as possible. But then we take all that information, and when we need to, we bring it to our state legislators. We bring it to our federal legislators, and we try to work on projects together.
how are you working with them?
So we've done a bunch of things. When it comes to road and bridge projects, I know Representative Rinkavich has been very helpful with some projects in his district. Congressman Muser has been helpful with getting us funding. And it's just about kind of bridging that gap, making sure that we communicate with each other. And we don't want to be like taking shots at each other in the public meetings and things like that. That has gone on in the past on county council. And when I became chair, I kind of set the precedent to say, let's not do that anymore. So because people aren't going to want to help you if you're not trying to have a constructive conversation.
That's the sad part, when you have people that come in have just their own personal agendas, and they don't like John Lombardo, and so this, or they don't like Sam Lesante. I had that when I was on the college board, and to eliminate that was, we were able to do the best we could, but you do have those kind of things. The reason why I asked that is because legislators, when they run, they are there to help, okay? And I mean, Muser's been on my show, Bresnahan's been on the show, and they never every time you say, come on, they're willing to answer the questions. And forget Democrat, Republican, okay? The point is that they're there. I think working with the legislators, particularly with grants, okay, you feel that's important?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's no doubt. And we have a very good relationship with our federal and our state representatives, and with the municipalities. We also have good relationships with the township and the boroughs. My theory is what's good for a township in Luzerne County is good for all of Luzerne County. And so we foster those relationships. I can tell you our federal and state representatives may get a little tired because we keep nudging them. We need this, but we're doing it.
That's good. Folks, I'm talking to Romilda Crocamo, who is the Luzerne County Manager, and John Lombardo, who is the chair of Luzerne County Council. Remember, $400 million budget, no tax increases, but check the other counties, you find out that their taxes went up. Good management. We hope to keep it that way. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Luzerne County Report. I'm Sam Lesante. Remember, every month we have a report from our county, see what's going on. Remember, ssptv.com. You can watch all of these shows. All the Luzerne County Report shows have been on, so you want to go back and take a look at that. We try to bring you as much information. Now, for those of you who have been asking me questions, I appreciate it, but sometimes I forget when I get back to my office. So if you would be so kind to email me your concerns or questions, and I'll be more than happy to bring it to Romilda. And it's sam@ssptv.com. Other note, a little homework here, I appreciate it very much. The scientific poll shows that this show is the #1 talk show in Northeastern Pennsylvania. I don't take it lightly, I appreciate that very much. But also, the comments, I appreciate those comments. You can see this show on Channel 13, SSPTV, and also Channel 513, our HD channel. Also, the Wilkes-Barre area on Wilkes-Barre Service Electric Cable Communications every Saturday and Sunday from 7 to 11 p.m. And I'm happy to say that we have a 32% increase in the Wilkes-Barre viewership. I appreciate that very much. All right, I got to do my homework here, Romilda. When you're looking at the election, of course, is May 20th, and anyone who runs for office, okay, today, I applaud. If they're running to bring good stuff, if they're running, for their own little personal agendas, then I think that's where we had that nonsense years ago. Now let's vote for qualified people. And John, you've been doing a great job as a chairman. I wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you.
You have the election coming up. What are we doing to prepare for it?
Well, it's already in motion. We used to have election day, but now we have election weeks. So obviously you can go to your polling site and vote on election day, but you have alternatives now. With mail-in ballots, we have only 2 drop boxes here in Luzerne County, and they're at county buildings. One is at the Broad Street Exchange building, which is on the corner of Laurel Street and Broad Street, and then at Penn Place, which is the home of our election bureau. We will be doing mail-in ballot on demand shortly, so you have a lot of options if you requested a mail-in ballot, and then of course you can always vote on election day. But it really is a daunting task. I like to vote in person. I like to go to the polls, make sure everything is going well. But there are all these options available.
But they can also mail them.
They can mail them in those big blue boxes
they're
we
on
have.
every they can mail them. Okay. What are some of the I mean, I remember the old days when you went in, you voted that day, you knew who won at the end of the day. Okay. Now here's another thing that blows my mind, and you know, we have computers today. And you know, you go online, and if I Google something, I get an answer like that.
Right.
I don't understand why we don't have a system where when you go in and vote, if you're voting, that information doesn't go to one central place. That at the end of the day, you have everything's computerized. I don't understand that.
Well, because it goes, when we receive for the electronic ballot machines, when we receive the ballots, which is on a little disc basically, we have to input them into our system, and they go to Harrisburg. And then Harrisburg formulates and has the numbers. We can't start doing any of that until after 8 p.m. In the evening. Luzerne County is a really large county. It's about 85% of the size of Rhode Island. So before I started working in the county, I used to sit there and say, why doesn't Luzerne County get their results in right away? Lackawanna County gets them in right away. The reason is we have to gather all the information from the southern part of the county. We have to drive up to Wilkes-Barre. I do that drive almost every day. And then those have to be processed. So that all happens after 8 p.m. Yeah. So we will stay at the bureau until everything is processed, and so that people have the results as quickly as possible.
You hit something right on the head, and that was, you said as an individual, why doesn't Luzerne County have the results? Okay, what's wrong with Luzerne County? Till you became involved inside.
Correct.
And you were able to see all that was done and say, oh my God, I was quick to criticize. And that's like the council, when you're running for council. You're quick to criticize, but don't know what John Lombardo and Brian and the council members are living with every day. Once you get that information, then you can say, oh, before I, that's so important. What do you think so, John?
Yeah, so that's something that I learned after actually being involved in government, that while I may want to see something done immediately, I want that instant gratification, like many people want nowadays, that we have technology where you can, like you said, pull something up on Google in the blink of an eye. Yeah. Unfortunately, with government, it's not instant. Sometimes things take days. They take weeks, months, even years sometimes to get something done. And that's not to say that it's inefficient. It's just there's a process that has to go through. Sometimes it's inefficient. That's to be honest. It is inefficient sometimes. Yeah. But a lot of times there is a process that you want to go through to make sure that you're doing things the right way, number one, and number two, to make sure you're spending taxpayer dollars in the most efficient way possible. And when it comes to the elections, it's the same thing. We want to make sure we're not making mistakes, especially when we're counting ballots. And back in the day, it's just you're counting pieces of paper. Now you have technology, which can make life easier, but it can make life harder sometimes too.
Yeah, it seems to be, I think everyone, concerned about having a fair election. and making sure that your votes are there's not any games being played, and you hear all that stuff, and so far we've been very fortunate. You've guaranteed that everything should be. Anything else, John? You got on the table? I mean, not that you guys do anything.
Well, I mean, one of the things that I've been saying a lot, especially over the last couple of years, now having been involved in government, is knowing that, as Romilda said before, we can work individually with municipalities, we can work with the cities, we can even work with other counties, because like a rising tide lifts all boats. If one municipality is doing well in Luzerne County, that means Luzerne County will do a little bit better. So, I live in the city of Pittston, which is in the northern part of the county, and that city has gone through sort of an economic renaissance over the last decade or so. And I have been saying that every single municipality could be exactly like the city of Pittston, as long as we're working together. That's all we need to do, is just work together. So if any municipalities have a project they want to work on, or something that they need from the county, because we have a lot of services we can certainly offer, please just reach out to us. We're happy to help. We want to be down there. I'm on the ground almost every day in the different cities and towns in the county, and they tell us what they want, and we try our best to help them. And we also may need something from them too. So, we try to have a symbiotic relationship if we can.
When you look at the successful cities, okay, you look at Hazelton, how it's progressing, and and you look at Pittston, beautiful. I mean, you enjoy just going down the street in Pittston. When you look at all of that stuff, you say, well, and Wilkes-Barre and Nanticoke and Mountaintop, everyone has pride in their towns, but it all boils down to who's in charge, who's managing, who's taking care of that. Here again, we ask the public, please know who you're voting for, because it affects your life. Nice seeing you again, John.
Thank you very much,
I wish you the
Sam.
best.
Very nice to be on the show.
You're doing a great job.
I appreciate it.
Romilda, we don't know about that. No, we've been blessed with
I
this.
love you too.
Yeah, we've been blessed with Romilda. You're doing an outstanding job, Romilda. Really, you sincerely are. Remember, 24/7 SSPTV.com. You get all of the shows, and our YouTube channel. My email, sam@ssptv.com. We'll see you next time.